Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of BFA. It's been a while, huh? Anyways, today we are talking about a very weird series and our first anime, a long while. I would say, a long while. We're gonna discuss an anime, and today we'll be talking about Suicide Squad Isekai, the anime produced by based on Suicide Squad, produced by Warner Bros. In DC, and animated by, let me just check. I think it's who is it? Who animated this? Wit Studio. There we go. Okay, so Wit Studio is the studio that worked on it's notably worked on the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, Great Pretender, Ranking of Kings, The Girl from the Other Side, Suil, a run, Spy X Family, the first seasons of The Ancient Magus' Bride, and Vinland Saga. I just looked that up on Wikipedia. But anyways, the big ones here are, at least for me, that I've heard of: Attack on Titan, Spy X Family, and Vinland Saga. That is who made this anime. And they are from the Wit Studio was formed by people from Production IG. They are a subsidiary of IG Port, which is the parent company behind production, the parent company of Production IG and Wit Studio. So they're like hand in hand. They're hand in hand in production. So there is quite a bit of a history here, and Suicide Squad Isekai is definitely one of their productions. As I mentioned, that Spy X Family was co-animated with Cloverworks, and Cloverworks, they're not. I don't think they have the best reputation, but it's mostly Wit Studio that animated. I'm pretty sure it's mostly Wit Studio that animated Spy X Family. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, aside from all that production stuff, I just wanted you guys to know about Wit Studio and what they've done and who they really are. I know that I am not the biggest anime guy. I think I'm gonna move this. There's a fan here, and I just gotta move. Hope that does something for the audio, because I just know it. I hope it does. It looks like it did something. I don't know. Well, I'll figure it out as I go along. But anyways, I just wanted to say that out there. I'm not the biggest anime. I don't watch a lot of anime. I'm currently I'm behind on. I'm behind on Dandadan. I am watching Dandadan. I am behind. I think I stopped. I think I stopped at episode 3 or something. 4. I'm pretty sure 4, 5, and 6 are out. And I have not watched it. I don't know how many episodes Dandadan will eventually have, but I promise I will review that show when it ends. After it ends, not when it ends. After it ends, it's run. But I don't know how many episodes are left of that, but hopefully it's not a lot. There are a lot of stuff I have to catch up on, and I'm not just putting out there. That's the only I started doing that because it was one of the big animes of the season, and I wanted to really get back into like just get into watching anime, and I did this. But Suicide Squad Isekai was an anime that I was following for a while. I didn't know where it would come out, but it ended up coming out on Max and a Hulu, where I watched it on Max. And of course, for the first, like one of the first, this anime came out this year. It is one of DC's productions, aside from like anything DC Universe related. After this, we'll be covering Batman Cape Crusader, and also the Penguin, which is all Batman related. I just kind of realized, but but the thing. So yeah, I'm not very big on anime. I don't watch a lot of that stuff. I really do want to get more into anime and watch a lot more animes. But I just kind of don't know where to start, and I'm just kind of going into like what I think are good starting points. Yeah. So I just want to get that out there, that I don't really know a lot about it. To be honest, I'm not the biggest. Like I'm not the biggest. I don't really know a lot about the studio. So I want to get that out there so people like me who don't know a lot of anime know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I've gone way too long on this rant. Suicide Squad Isekai came out, and I was following for a while, and because I wanted to watch it. Not only because of that, because it's a really weird concept. It is a really weird concept. I'm not sure if I covered it on Media Consumers, but Suicide Squad Isekai is a really weird concept. It is it's a group. You know, if you're watching this and know anything about DC, you probably know what the Suicide Squad is, and they've gotten quite big in it, both famously and infamously. But you know, Suicide Squad is a group of people that's not really there to save the world, but they do more of like the government's dirty work. At least Argus does dirty work. That's mostly what they do, or not. I don't think it's Argus. I don't fucking know. I think Argus is the program, not the actual Suicide Squad. No, it's a task. I don't know. Yeah, Argus. Fuck it. They do Argus's dirty work. And that's what the first movie got wrong. The second movie did get it right, with the fact that the Suicide Squad is kind of there to get information out of there or get information destroyed. I forgot what it was, but then the people end up saving the world and all that, even though that wasn't the mission. They got that right. So Suicide Squad got really big. Got good reviews. The second movie got good reviews, and like they just started doing more with the Suicide Squad. Early this year, we had the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game, which didn't do that well, and now we have this. So after following for a while and kind of just seeing where it went, how did I think it turned out? Well, let's get some things out of the way first. I do know the impact of James Gunn's version of the Suicide Squad here is very apparent. It is, I would say, one of the biggest parts here. Of course, some of these characters are part of the Suicide Squad. Like Deadshot, Harley Quinn is very associated with the squad. It's probably after the movie. I don't know if she was part of the squad before then. Definitely not before then, because she's younger than the Suicide Squad. And I don't know where that really started. Maybe that was the Arkhamverse. Maybe that was the movie. I'm pretty sure it was the Arkhamverse, because I know that the Assault on Arkham came out before the movie came out. But yeah, I know that Deadshot was a part of the Suicide Squad. King Shark was also kind of associated with them. So in this group, there are people that are associated with the squad, but there are a few that are like that have a very big influence, which is like Peacemaker, and the Peacemaker was, I don't think was ever part of the Suicide Squad until James Gunn's version of the team, and then this show, this anime, it brought that brought him as a very big part of the group, and the fact that they always like bicker. I know probably I think they always bicker and stuff, but it's very apparent. There's a very big emphasis in humor with the Suicide Squad, and yeah, no, James Gunn's impact on Suicide Squad Isekai is very apparent. That's just genuinely how it is. It's very apparent, but I feel like it's to its detriment rather than its benefit. So we'll be getting to the actual show now. So obviously we're gonna start off with what we always start off with, which is the animation and action. So anyone who's talked like at any point about the series probably has talked about the animation of Suicide Squad Isekai, and it isn't the best. At times it looks weird. It's not really consistent in its quality. The people are copy pasted everywhere, and I don't know, like it just doesn't feel great. The animation doesn't look all that great. It's just kind of there, and the action is sometimes entertaining. I think it's fine enough, but I don't know. It's just kind of like there, and some things. The thing is, like the action is really hampered by the fact that the animation quality isn't exactly the best. So Suicide Squad Isekai really just suffers because of that. And the fact is, like, it just kind of looks like they put a bunch of DC characters in a fantasy setting, and it's like the cheapest fantasy setting ever. It isn't exactly just anything great, if I'm being completely honest. It isn't impressive. It's just kind of there, and that's like the worst part, because I feel like an anime about DC characters, especially the fact that DC themselves have been at least have really good animated series. So giving it to a studio, giving it to an anime studio who pretty much, I don't know if they were given free reign with this show, but they were definitely not. They were definitely not like I don't think they're that hampered into what the show turned out to be. I feel like the show mostly turned out the way it was because maybe Warner Bros. Japan wanted to they wanted to take it into a different direction. Like they wanted to have it in the specific direction that it had, and they mostly just shopped it around to other studios rather than have the studios make up an actual production. You know, it's literally that. So yeah, no, like it was Warner Bros. Japan that pitched the idea from an existing DC comic title. Is this based on a comic? Or what? Anyways. So yeah, exactly what I said. It was a Warner Bros. Original idea, and they shopped it around to other studios. See who landed. See who took the bait. And which studio took the bait, and they were probably. And it says here that the production began right after the first movie came out, but that's kind of impossible, since this would mean that it took them. It was in development hell for the better part of. For like the better part of half a decade, which is I don't think that's it. And then they eventually like decided to just kind of make it like base it on the first movie, like the James Gunn's movie, or like a mishmash of both. I'm guessing that's what they decided to go with. I don't know. Really weird. So, you know, that's what it feels like, and I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that's not what happened. Apparently it says here that they pitched the idea, and around 2019, 2020. Which I mean might have been around the time that they did, and I know there were like they were set photos about Peacemaker and the fact that like all that. So maybe the fact is that they were given years to do it, and it doesn't feel like it, and like the animation doesn't look like it looks kind of rushed at times, especially during the dragon fight that when they got like when Harley got the egg. It feels very like the animation doesn't feel great in that scene. Again, like I said, like it just looks kind of bland. Like the setting just looks kind of bland. I don't know. It's not good. That's all I say. It's not good. So yeah. I mean, but the thing is, like, it's passable. That's the thing. It's not like it's like good, but it's not like it's terrible either. There have been worse cases of animation. Trust me. So it's bearable to look at, but you know you're not exactly it's not winning any awards for it. It's just okay animation, and like good action that's hampered by the okay animation. It's just that's just really it. The only excited standout moment I can really think of is when they get their like magical girl like transformations, and that's really just kind of basic, and that's the thing that's been done since like the 90s. It's not anything special. So yeah, that's really all I want to say. Like, yeah, that's really the only impressive part about the animation. Let's move on to the characters. So first up, obviously the main character here, Harley. I think she's the best developed, but she's the best developed of all of them, but she's not a perfect character, or even I would say maybe even like a good character. I think there are things about her that I don't know like what they were thinking. Like for example, Harley. This is like the first little time this this group of people are sent together on a mission, and at some point I think when they first meet Thinker and Enchantress, she thinks that the entire group died, and so like everyone and so she like mourns the death of her teammates, but the thing is that those people she had never really spent any meaningful time with or anything, so it comes like out of left field, and they turn out to be fine anyways. And I don't know, I feel like Harley isn't that well written. She's just kind of there, and I don't think she really grows all that much. She doesn't have a character arc. I feel like she is the one with the most character, but it's not like it's better. It's not like it's a good characterization. I'm gonna talk about some things later, and I think actually work in the show. But that's not what. Harley is not one of them, and especially the next things. In these notes, obviously I have notes. I put all of the individual Suicide Squad members as like individual members. The thing is that they have no like motivations, no goals, no anything. At least in the show, that I'm gonna group them all together and save myself some time. The rest of the Suicide Squad is bland as hell. It's mostly arguing, except for King Shark, which King Shark is just the most dumbed down version of the one from James Gunn's movie. this Suicide Squad has some moments of characterization here and there with the fact that Peacemaker doesn't want to take off his helmet, and the fact that they all bicker and stuff, but they all bicker in the exact same way about the exact same things, and they could never agree on anything. It is genuinely tiring, and the fact is that it's just kind of, I don't think it's what the characters needed. Sure, like, the thing is, the characters don't have personalities, they have little quirks about them that set them apart from each other, but they're not personalities. I just don't think they are, and the fact is that the characters do things that are just kind of there for the plot and all that. I don't know, they're just not developed at all. And like Rick Flag too, I'm just gonna lump in here, even though he's part of the second squad. Rick Flag is just kind of there again. He doesn't really do anything special about anything, and any when he joins the group to just kind of, he joins the group and he starts arguing with people. That is what happens in the show. The only time, like, I think he does anything is the fact that he can communicate. The only time he's interesting is the fact that he spent so much time with like orcs and stuff, that he has learned the language a little. But like, it's a funny scene because he's like cursing and all that. He's speaking how the orcs speak, which is vulgar and all that. So Rick Flag. That would have been an interesting part. But the thing is that every one of them, like an episode later, gets translation devices or something. Like is able to just be have their languages translate between one another. So, like, what the hell was the point of that anyways? Like, why bring that up? For the comedy? I guess it's for the comedy, but it's also a thing that Rick Flag can do. He can somewhat break the language barrier that these people have, and it's just never brought up again. Never used again. You know, I feel like these guys don't have much characterization, and the fact is that they don't really do anything to warrant Harley, like, mourning over them and stuff. So, you know, I don't know. It's just, they just don't do anything special. Except for, like, the little character quirks here and there where, you know, Clayface emulates Michael Jackson. And all that. Like, that's just a thing. And the fact that Peacemaker doesn't want to show his face, and it's all about liberty and all that. The fact is that we don't really see that. It's just kind of a thing that happens. So yeah. Speaking of, I said talking about the second squad a little bit. Let's talk about the second squad. The second squad is at least somewhat interesting. I like what they did with Katana here, where she was like, it was like mysterious, and then was revealed to be something else. I'll talk about that later. I thought what they were doing with Katana was interesting, but then it was kind of changed. But the thing is that I like that the people were using like the tech, and the fact that these people were adapting to the world they inhabited here. I feel like that was interesting. The fact that these people sided with the villains, and we had reasons as to why I sided with the villains. Like they had the most interesting characterization. Killer Croc is the one that I have the most problems with because we don't really know much about him, as in this universe. So yeah, no, that's the only one I have problems with. He just kind of comes out of nowhere. It isn't really explained, while the others at least have some episodes about them. And I like that thinking cap is actually used. Is actually used by people. It's very I think it's a very interesting. It's a very interesting way of integrating both of these worlds, because most of the times, the worlds feel apart. Like the fact that the Suicide Squad has guns and all that feels apart from like what the kingdom is all about and all that. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say on that front. And so yeah, I think what they had the second Suicide Squad was interesting. And I think it was well thought out, and it would have been well executed if they were given more screen time. I think if they were given a little more polish, and the fact we could have seen more of why the Suicide Squad actually kind of helps out the kingdom instead of what we really see there. With them, I think a good contrast to them helping the Empire, to the second squad helping out the Empire, and our main squad helping out the Kingdom. I think that would have worked a little bit more. So yeah. Speaking of the fact that I talked about Katana, let's talk about Joker. So at the end, Joker is revealed to be the one pulling all the strings and all that, and I feel like that's fucking stupid. I think that Joker being the one that pulls all the strings around the entire show, and just because he thinks it's funny, is stupid. Yes, okay, fine. Joker would absolutely go into the world of fantasy and the fucking. And if he could, he'd pull strings all around the world and all that, like to just to fuck with the world, just to fuck with a war. Probably, maybe, if you find it funny. It's a Joker thing to do. Fine, I get it, but it's still stupid writing. Because not only does a Joker have to get to this world, which, by the way, in the show is only accessible by Argus, by Argus. So he's like, so we don't know where we got there. He got the power to shapeshift somehow. He masqueraded as Katana for some reason. I don't know. And he fucked up Harley too, and fodder and helped out the undead king and all that. It's so stupid. It is genuinely moronic. What the hell were they thinking with the Joker in the show? Man. I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's genuinely idiotic. It is idiotic. I just know. It's like, for me, there's no other way to put it. What were they thinking? Man. It's so baffling. It really is. So yeah. As a Joker, just I think one of the worst interpretations of the character ever. And like one of the things I forgot to say about Harley, but the thing is like most of like Harley's like flashback with the Joker is for things that are gonna be used in that episode. So whenever there is a Joker flashback, it is usually a lesson. There's usually a lesson there about like what Harley learned from the Joker and all that, and that's fine, I guess, but. It's not like build up to like what the Joker. I guess like the only thing the Joker said, like, oh, imagine like a new world and all that, where like whatever the fuck. I forgot what he said about like, but he talked about like a new world. But that doesn't really explain it. It only explains like why he's here, but not how he's here. It's so stupid. That's what it is. It's so stupid. And the thing is that we're probably not getting a second season. So yeah, so moving on, let's move on to I think the best character in the series actually, Fiona, the princess. So this character is actually really interesting because she was billed as like a parallel to Harley, having, being like sheltered and all that, and being part of the royal family, having this like burden on her. And not knowing that her mother was, and having like a very like, tough mother and all that, and wanting to be free, and just be herself and all this, and like that's what Harley had, and completely unleashed and all that, and that she idolized Harley, and she personalized herself as like a free being, like Harley, and she gained Harley gained her freedom and all that, and she like strived to do that. That's interesting. The show, that's interesting. I feel like that's that's a very interesting that's very interesting. Just a very interesting arc to take a character, of interesting goal to take a character from another universe, from like another world, to be influenced by the DC characters. That's again just a very well thought out idea, and I feel like it was executed in a way where it's good enough for what the show is. But it's fine. It's just kind of fine. It doesn't sting. It does its job. It could have been worked on a little bit more. I think some polish could have worked here. But I feel like with Fion's character arc, I think it was pretty good. I think it was pretty well handled. So I talked about like the queen a little bit. So the queen turned out to be the undead king, which was like a big evil. But that was like never just the undead king is not in my notes. But I will talk about I will talk about the undead king. She is never mentioned in the entirety of the show until the last like 2 episodes. That's when the undead king is like mentioned, and like I guess like something happened. Like she was the undead king was like the big bad and all that, and that's what she's the big bad, and she was like sealed away and all that, and now she is and now she's here. But that's just never explained, comes right out of nowhere, and like that's just the thing. We never, it just comes out of nowhere. So we don't know what the like threat is capable of. We don't even know what the fuck it is. I thought that when the undead king was revealed, that was like a DC character, but it isn't. It is like an original character for the show, because it doesn't even have a fucking Wikipedia page, and everyone else has it. So yeah, no, it is weird. So yeah, no, fucking hell. The Undead King is like a very, very underdeveloped main villain for the show. So yeah, let's talk about the plot now. Now that I'm done about the characters, the plot is fucking weird. The plot. Okay, my main issue with the plot is that it feels like it stalls. It feels there's not enough time for episodes. There's a lot of downtime in the show, and it almost feels like they had a plan for the show, but they were given 10 episodes and they wrote it all up, but they figured out that there's not enough for 10 episodes, so it's not just like randomly like grabbing shit, and it just stalled. But somehow it felt rushed as well, where like things just like started wrapping up really quickly, and they had to get stuff out there and couldn't really explain most of that stuff, so they just had a big mess at the end. It's both at the same time, and that's just really, really perplexing. How do you do that? How did that happen? There's some also the first it just doesn't make any sense. Like the middle is just so slow, and then at the end, like, oh my god, at the end it's just like, okay, we gotta pick this up. We gotta pick this up because it's ending. Because we realized, oh my god, we have to fucking end the show now. We have so much stuff. We haven't even done anything with it. Also, I should mention, I finished the show, I think, when it aired. So it's been 3 months, almost 3 months, since the last time I watched the show. So if I say anything weird, that's really just me. Not remembering most of it. So yeah. But anyways, there's some weird decisions in this show as well. For example, we all know that the Suicide Squad is about the group of villains, hired by the government to like, what do you call it? To do their dirty work, and they don't. They planted a bullet, a bomb like a miniature bomb in their neck, and that will and it will explode. They go off mission. That is just what the thing is about, and they never use that ever. It is somewhat used that's the thing that's somewhat used. It's never it's a thing for like the first 4 episodes when they finally get to the signal. It's like, oh, the thing is, like, the thing about the bomb is so confusing because at the start of the episode, like, at the start of the season, it's like, okay, we have 72 hours until the bombs blow up, and then, like, but when the time goes on, like, oh, we don't actually have that. It's just kind of it's something else. I forgot what it was, but it's like something else. And okay, so we have more time. And like, it's never brought up ever again. It's a problem sometimes, but it's just never brought up ever again, and it's not a problem at all. So the bombs, not a problem at all. And also, Amanda Waller, which is not a character in, I will say, is not a character in the show, is it does not threaten at all. The only time she actually uses the bombs is for Clayface. Now, Clayface is made out of clay, and the show points this out. Apparently, no one in the fucking show decided to do, like, have a brain. And I'm like, and when that happened, when that moment happened, I remember vividly. When that moment happened in the show, I was like, holy shit, they fucking just broke Clayface's entire like they forgot that it's fucking Clayface. And then the show was like, oh no, wait, we remembered it was Clayface. We just wanted to have a little spook. And like, well, it didn't spook me. It fucking confused me. because it's fucking Clayface. Clayface is not like clay. He doesn't have any organs. Like, he can't die. I don't think he can die. So like, when the bomb gets blown up and his head gets blown off, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? No, Clayface died. Like, that's what the character's doing. It's fine. Like, what? I'm sitting there fucking thinking, how the fuck did you kill Clayface with a bomb? Does not make any sense. If anything, Clayface would be taken out by like water or something, not by a bomb. Unless like the bomb like superheats Clayface, which I don't think so. Because Clayface can like harden himself, so I don't think he'd be exactly too hurt by that. So like, what was the point? And then the show was like, oh no, wait, I'm actually okay. Like Clayface is actually okay. So there was no point, and Waller never used that ever again. And Waller doesn't even come up ever again until like the very end when it's like, oh, Katana's been here the whole time. It's like, what the, and then Joker gets revealed. It's like, what the fuck? So yeah. Anyways, fucking hell, the plot is so weird. Also, I was gonna talk about this. The plot of the show doesn't feel like it was DC. It was originally for DC. It feels like it was like a reverse isekai almost. Where sure, the people there, like in isekai, people learn like it's like a fish out of water. The people learn, the people that isekai learn about learn about the world and how the people live there. But in here, it's more like the people learn from the Suicide Squad, and that's an interesting way to like an isekai. The thing is, it feels like wasn't meant for DC. It feels like it was meant for original characters that maybe Warner Bros. Japan like didn't think were actual, like was an actual like market, wasn't an it wasn't like viable. So they had to slap on the Suicide Squad label on it, keep the isekai stuff, like keep at least what the isekai stuff had, and like just fucking send it out. Just send it out just like that. And yeah, that's what it feels like, because I think it could have worked as an original anime, but it wasn't an original anime. It was made with the Suicide Squad. So, but that's just my real thing is like, also my fourth point. Yeah, I actually put 5 points here. 4th point. Why the fuck is it made by the Suicide Squad? Why the Suicide Squad? Why not anything else? If anything, I think the Suicide Squad is at least interesting enough. Like, it could have been an interesting enough idea where they're like villains and all that, and they learn from the villainy and all that. But like, why? I think I guess it's because it's like easily marketable. People know what the Suicide Squad is, and like and and like fucking hell, what is it? What am I trying to say? Like they're popular enough where they're marketable. Like they're marketable. They're popular enough. They're villains. They could have made an interesting narrative, and I think they could have. But the thing is, like, why the fuck did you pick these guys? That's just the thing. Like, why for an isekai, it's weird. Maybe anyone else I think could have worked, but Suicide Squad, I feel like you had interesting stuff here, but it was like such a weird. It was such a weird idea and just a weird concept in general that I feel like you needed something really good to make it work, and that's just not what the Suicide Squad Isekai is. So, what is the future? Well, apparently we're not getting a second season, it seems. So we don't know what the real status of the show is. The Suicide Squad made it back alive, made it back to their world, I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm like pretty sure. So, or I don't know. I don't fucking remember. But yeah, no. And like that's the Joker, and that's just kind of like there, and like it's like there's a bunch of like loose threads flying around. So it wasn't like an actual concrete ending. So what the fuck are we getting, or we're not getting an actual a second season? It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know. There's nothing about a season 2. So yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe there's ways to get to season 2. It's not been renewed or canceled, so we don't know. There's plot threads left hanging. Maybe we'll get season 2. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, and I want more anime about the. I want more DC anime, but not like this. Sure, weird ass concepts can definitely work, but this is not the way to do them. So yeah. Like in conclusion, Suicide Squad Isekai is a weird ass anime that didn't really work, and it just wasn't developed as well as it could have been. So, you know, it landed a comfortable spot in the C tier. It is a fine watch, but it won't win any awards. But it's not terrible, so there's that at least. So you know, that's about it. So what did you guys think about Suicide Squad Isekai? Leave in the comments below. All of our socials, our currently available ones, are in the description. So check those out if you want to, and really, that's really about it. See ya.